Hello, my name is Aaron, and today I'm going to discuss how fiscal policy is implemented to fight recessions and overheating economies. I will also look at the 2008 financial crisis as a historical example and highlight one limitation to assess the effectiveness of Canadian fiscal policy. So first, we need to look at the multiplier effect, the crowding out effect, and tax cuts to properly see how fiscal policy shapes economies. The multiplier effect describes how government spending can lead to more economic growth than the initial stimulus. It is often described as how government's spending trickles down to companies and then employees, which then gets spent at other companies and trickle down to other employees, and so on and so forth in a cycle. This effect highlights how increasing government spending can lead to higher demand for employment, which leads to higher consumption in employees and an overall shift in the aggregate demand curve to the right. The crowding out effect highlights how increased government spending, while stimulating aggregate demand, can put upward pressure on interest rates. This upward pressure can lead to discouragement in investment spending and dampen aggregate demand. This discouragement in investment spending happens because as income rises due to increased government spending, the money demand goes up. As a result, interest rates must rise in response to equalize aggregate demand. Tax cuts can boost household disposable income, which pushes aggregate demand curves to the right, while tax hikes can dampen consumer spending and move the aggregate demand curve to the left. Although tax cuts can increase consumer spending, they can also raise money demand due to raising disposable incomes. This can also drive up interest rates and push the aggregate demand curve left as well by the crowding out effect. So now our historical example. The 2008 financial crisis was known for its international and long-lasting effects on all markets. Many countries had different responses to this economic crisis. Some chose to bail out institutions like banks. Canada, on the other hand, primarily used stimulus packages, tax cuts, as well as infrastructure projects and expanded social programs to stimulate the Canadian economy in the short term and long term. Due to timing delays in infrastructure projects, the effects were still felt on Canadians. However, overall, many Canadians overall benefited from fiscal policy, and the fiscal policy can be seen as highly effective. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this was very informational and educational for you to understand how fiscal policy can shape economies. Have a good day.